you'll ever be. As I felt as a teen,
It's
with the
almost like
only
I'm just
stress on my
walking
mind
around
being
my
my
body.
home.
I'm
I
terrified
love
that if
those
I
talks
start
with my
living
friends
normal
who
things,
walk.
I feel as though fear is one thing that centers around my life constantly. I'm terrified of everything while also being terrified of nothing. I don't know how to explain it, but fear is the reason why I'm constantly being held back in life situations that I wish I wasn't. I think one thing that scares me the most is not being good enough. I have this strange complex that I just have to have everyone like me. But I don't even like everyone. So why do I feel the need to do that? I feel as though I want to seek this validation from everyone, but I'm so scared of not receiving it that I don't even do anything to get it, if that makes sense. I'm kind of just there. Something else that I fear is being alone, but I suppose that ties in with the not being good enough. I just want somebody to love me as I love them.
I'm afraid of not being in control. I already feel like I have control over so little in my life, and most of what I do is for other people's pleasure. It's almost like I'm just along for the ride in my body. I'm terrified that if I start living for myself, I'll cause some kind of friction with those I hold close and possibly lose them.
My biggest fear is finding out that I can't trust the people that I love.
I fear that I'll never feel the way I felt before, that my brain will never stop attacking me with every little thought that comes through. I want to feel like I felt before, as I felt as a kid without a care in the world, with a blank canvas in front of me, having fun with anything I created, good and bad. You look past all that hate and bad in your life, because at that moment, you are the purest you'll ever be. As I felt as a teen, with the only stress on my mind being math homework. I love those talks with my friends, walking from school to our bus stop. And as a lover, the feeling of safeness, warmness, and encouragement, for only that single person can bring to you. I fear that those feelings will keep fading and fading until there is no more, and just an empty shell of a man will be left, just like those before me.
I fear many things: heights, spiders, dark spaces, death. However, nothing keeps me up at night more than my fear of failure. Failing in school, friendships and lovers, work, and even on some video games. I've always been able to describe my fear of things, but I have never been able to describe this one. I believe it stems from having a father who is a perfectionist. Perhaps my fear of disappointing him with negative results developed into this. Unlike my father, I am not a perfectionist. So a lot of the tasks I previously failed on, I refused to finish or even try again. For a majority of my life, I've been able to accomplish things to my standards. But on the few occasions that I have failed, I completely shut down. It feels as if I've fallen down like a never-ending well. I have hopes one day I won't feel like this. Every day, although it's hard, I strive towards living a life where if I fail at something, I'm able to get back up and try again until I'm happy with the results.
When I think of what my biggest fear is, my initial reaction is to answer with death. However, the more I sit with that thought, I realize that it's not death I'm scared of. It's the fear of what happens after death. No matter what God you believe in, no one truly knows what happens after death. Yes, we know what happens to our physical body, but not what happens to our soul and spirit. I also may have a little bit of fear of missing out. The fact that life continues on without you is a selfishly sad thought. Lastly, I'm scared of leaving family, friends, and loved ones behind. I wouldn't want to inflict any sort of pain or sadness onto them.
I fear that one day I'll miss my mom. I fear that one day I won't wake up to the sound of her playing with my dogs, or that I won't have breakfast with her on Sunday mornings. I fear that I won't be able to hug her when I need it the most. She gives up her time and health to make sure I'm okay. She thinks of me when no one else does. She taught me patience and love. I'd do anything for her. But at the end of the day, it's inevitable, and I don't know what I'd do without her. A life without my mom is a life without unconditional love.
Maybe it's because a picture of my father, brother, and papa are staring at me while I'm writing this, but right here, right now, at this time in my life, I fear losing my dad. He's got a white tee tucked into jeans with a stash so resonant of the late 90s. His arm is placed on my brother's shoulder, who questioningly looks into the camera, barefoot with a fresh cut my mom had probably given him in the bathtub. My papa holds me, my 1-year-old self. This is our home, my heroes in one photo. I fear losing my dad because my 23-year-old self needs him the most right now and has for the past 23, despite many of those years thinking otherwise. Every bit of support he gives me, his voice of understanding and love that I can feel from 3,000 kilometers away makes me sad that he's so far, but humbled to call him my father. We don't know what we have until it's gone, but I think it hurts even more to know what we have and watch it leave. That's my fear.